Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. Today, our mission is to, well, cut straight into the tactical heart of modern rugby. We're tackling a crucial and frankly fascinating debate.
It's a big one. It's really raging between the two titans of the sport, the Springboks and the All Blacks.
Exactly. And this isn't just about winning a single match. It's about the very philosophy of international rugby right now in the mid-2020s.
You've got these two completely opposing ideas.
You do. On one side, you have Rassie Erasmus's radical disruption-focused approach, and on the other, Scott Robertson's selection dilemma.
And the core question we're digging into is really, what does it take to win in 2026? Is it these disruptive psychological ploys, or is it absolute unwavering consistency?
That'd be the million-dollar question.
And this whole deep dive is really powered by some fascinating source material, specifically the very strong opinions of ex-All Black Murray Mexted.
Who doesn't hold back, does he?
Not at all. He pulls absolutely no punches when he's contrasting Erasmus's bomb squad with the All Black selections under Robertson in 2025. It really lets us get beyond just match reports.
It's the ultimate tactical showdown, a real battle of philosophies defining modern rugby. So if you're as obsessed with this stuff as we are, you need to be with us.
Definitely.
So take a second right now and subscribe to Rugby Obsession. You won't want to miss a single breakdown. Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with a tactic that's genuinely changed the game's vocabulary. The Springboks bomb squad.
Right.
This approach from Rassie Erasmus, it was undeniably successful throughout 2025. The numbers speak for themselves.
They do. They used, 49 players throughout the year? Just constant rotation, keeping that intensity at its peak.
And this is where Mexted's analysis gets so sharp. He doesn't just dismiss its success, but he frames the tactic as something more than just smart rugby.
Something a bit darker, almost. He believes the bomb squad is less about swapping one player for another, skill for skill, and much more of a psychological exercise, or, and this is his direct quote, psychological warfare.
That framing is so important. He's not just saying they have a deep bench. He's suggesting Erasmus is actively trying to erode the other team's mental state.
It's an intentional attack. So the question is, what does that actually look like on the field? How do you wage psychological warfare with substitutes?
Yeah, what's the mechanism?
Well, it comes down to shock and awe. Mexted points to the timing and the sheer volume of it, bringing on, and I'm quoting him here, 8 players in one hit or something ridiculous like that.
8 players.
But the critical detail he focuses on isn't just the number, it's the type of player. He says they bring on 5 new forwards, and they're all about the same size and of the same ability.
So it's the uniformity of the threat. It's that realization for the opposition pack who are, running on fumes at the 60-minute mark.
Exactly.
That they now have to face an entire front row and 2 locks who are just as big, just as skilled, and haven't even broken a sweat.
Precisely. And the psychological toll of that is just immense. The quality doesn't drop off. It actually feels like it accelerates.
It's sending a message. We are deeper than you, and we plan for this exact moment of your fatigue.
It's a deliberate strategy to break their will, and it works. The sources show it worked for the Boks, and other sides, like England, also used their bench really well that year.
But, and this is the core of the argument, Mexted's whole point is that despite this success, the All Blacks should absolutely not follow suit.
And that's the pivot. That's where we get to his deep criticism of the All Blacks' approach in 2025. He sees what they were doing as the complete opposite of what's needed.
Right. So if the Boks use depth for psychological shock, Mexted basically suggests the All Blacks use rotation for, instability.
That's it. His core complaint against Robertson is the trialing players at international level. He sees it as fundamentally compromising the team's strength and stability.
And Mexted is very specific about this, isn't he?
Oh, very pointed. He's openly asking the coaches, are we selecting or are we still trialing players? He slammed the fact that selections were just not consistent throughout the year.
He saw a pattern, right?
A destructive one. He said players would be really performing well and all of a sudden are off because they feel like they have to give someone else a game.
So rotation for rotation's sake, not for tactical advantage. But hold on, doesn't every team need to develop depth by trying new players?
That's the tension.
Well, yeah.
His critique isn't about not developing talent. It's that they shouldn't do it at the expense of the winning culture.
Okay.
He cites that disappointing performance against Wales as a prime example of the consequences.
And we see the ultimate negative consequence in the source material, don't we? He points directly to that defeat against the Springboks in Wellington.
The record defeat, yeah, where the Boks rallied in the second half and handed the All Blacks a record defeat in Aotearoa.
And for any listeners less familiar, Aotearoa is the Maori name for New Zealand. He's implying a more settled, mental, tough squad just wouldn't have collapsed like that.
And that's the link. That's where he connects selection to mental toughness. He says there's too much focus on fitness and conditioning than there is on mental strength.
So that collapse wasn't just physical.
He argues it was mental. A lack of resilience that's forged by playing together week in, week out. He wants them to restore their credibility and winning mantra.
It's fascinating. Both approaches are rooted in psychology, but through totally different means. The Boks break the opposition's mind.
And Mexted wants the All Blacks to build an unbreakable mind within their own team through trust and consistency.
Precisely. And for you, the listener, understanding which of these works long-term is so important. We're just scratching the surface here.
Absolutely. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button for Rugby Obsession now. You don't want to miss where this goes next.
Okay, let's move on, because this is where the practical analysis gets critical. The bomb squad works for South Africa. We've established that.
Right.
So why can't New Zealand just copy it? If it's so successful, why not just adopt the shock and awe method?
And that is the central question Mexted answers perfectly. His answer is rooted in geopolitical and economic reality. He says the environments are totally different.
He's pretty emphatic about it.
Very. He says, we're not all the same. We're all different. We have different worlds. Copying the Boks would be a huge mistake because the entire structure is different.
Okay, so let's break that down. The South African system. What allows the bomb squad to flourish?
It's basically their global player pool. They have a totally different way of selecting a team because they have more players playing overseas than you have in your own country.
Right, so Erasmus is pulling from everywhere.
He's growing players overseas and at home. It creates this vast, deep pool of talent where you can sub out an entire front five without a drop in quality. The economics of their system feed the tactic.
That makes perfect sense. The bomb squad isn't just about having 8 good players on the bench. It's having 8 world-class players ready to replace another 8 world-class players.
Exactly. Now, compare that to the New Zealand system. Mexted defines New Zealand as having a small number of players in comparison.
And it's all centralized.
Completely. Everything is built around Super Rugby and the NPC, the National Provincial Championship.
So because that pool is smaller and more centralized, the focus has to be different.
Absolutely. For New Zealand, the priority has to be safeguarding the domestic game. Mexted says the most important thing is to retain the level of the NPC and Super Rugby.
That's the testing ground.
That's where they sort out the men from the boys. And if you start eroding trust in selection at the top level, you risk devaluing the very competitions that are supposed to prepare those players.
So we have 2 completely distinct models dictated by geography and economics. One maximizes a global pool for shock value.
And the other, according to Mexted, must nurture a domestic system to build a unified, mentally unbreakable unit.
It really all boils down to one core debate then.
It does. Is success found in that consistent mental fortress approach that Mexted wants? Or is it in the strategic, psychological shock value that Erasmus has mastered?
So we turn it over to you. Which philosophy do you think defines success in 2026? Are we in an era where depth and shock tactics will always win out?
Or will that unified, settled squad prove to be superior in the long run? It's the big question. Do you back consistency or psychological warfare?
And there's one last provocative thought from the source material to leave you with.
What's really illuminating is the broader context. One of the sources actually refers to 2025 as the year the bench took control of rugby.
The bench took control of rugby.
Which suggests this whole tactical shift is only just beginning. The bench isn't an insurance policy anymore, it's a structural weapon.
A structural weapon. That's a powerful thought to end on, especially heading into the next test season. Thank you for diving deep with us today. Don't forget to subscribe to Rugby Obsession wherever you get your content for future deep dives into the game's most crucial battles. Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we will look forward to you listening to our next episode.